Was my zipper down? Oh no. Hey guys, I'm Anna.
And I'm Brian.
And we are those annoying vegans. We didn't prepare an intro.
Well, you may notice we're in a different spot.
We're in front of our Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's Christmas time.
Yes, it is. We're also going to discuss Brian's recent blood work results because health is a gift we give to ourselves.
That's the way to tie it into the theme. That's right, for the past couple of years I've gotten my annual physical in December, and for the lipid panel specifically, we have results from 2015, 2016, and now 2017, which means pre-vegan, post-vegan, and now avoiding oil vegan.
We'll do mine at a later date because I have yet to get updated blood work, and it's just easier to do it one at a time.
And today we will be enjoying a lovely vegetable smoothie courtesy of Dr. Michael Greger.
Yeah.
If you go to the Nutrition Facts YouTube channel, you can find the recipe. This is just all the vegetables. I think the only fruit that's in here is tomato, and there's some lemon juice and lemon zest as well. Now I gotta say, I'm not really a veggie smoothie guy. I know I mentioned that in our 3 smoothie video, which you guys can check out. The link is in the description. But when you add that little bit of kick, a little jalapeno, a little black pepper.
Yeah.
Speaking of nutrition, let's jump into my blood results, shall we?
Let's.
So first up, since heart disease is the #1 killer worldwide and the #1 risk factor for heart disease, according to William C. Roberts, MD, is your cholesterol score. In 2015, I was not vegan, and my total cholesterol score was 180.
It's quite high, Mr. Rupenkamp.
Yes, the healthy range is 90 to 140 for total cholesterol. That's normal. That's what we're born with when we are tiny little babies. 90
with clean arteries.
Yes, fresh, clean arteries. We fast forward 1 year after being vegan, my total cholesterol had lowered to 155.
And you might wonder, well, why was there not a more dramatic drop if you cut out all animal products? Well, it takes time to clear your arteries.
I spent over 3 decades clogging them, so you can't expect to unclog them
right away.
Overnight. It doesn't work that way. This year, my cholesterol is down to 145. So I'm almost within healthy range after 2 years of being vegan. LDL cholesterol. LDL is the bad cholesterol. That's the number that raises the biggest, reddest flag when you get your cholesterol checked. Now, keeping in mind that a healthy LDL cholesterol range is between 50 and 70 milligrams per deciliter. In 2015, before I was vegan, my LDL cholesterol was 79.
I mean, it's a little high.
While it is under 100, it's not optimal. Most doctors will tell you that you want to keep your LDL under 100. That's usually the number that you hear. But the healthy range, what we are born with, is 50 to 70. 1 year being vegan, it's down to 75. And now, since we've been doing our best to cut out the oil, which contains saturated fat, which does raise your serum cholesterol levels, my cholesterol is now down to 71. So I'm 1 point away from the healthy range. After more than 3 decades of clogging my arteries with cheese and butter and milk and meat
and nastiness.
After 2 years, I'm almost down there to the healthy range. And we've seen more dramatic results than these, like people that have super high cholesterol. You go on a whole food, plant-based vegan diet.
It goes down dramatically, just like magic.
Yeah, or science. One of the two. I always get those confused. So up next, let's talk about my glucose, my blood sugar, because people always say, hey man, those carbs, they cause type 2 diabetes. As you guys know, we eat a plenty amount of carbs.
That's pretty high in carbs.
Yeah, I mean, most vegetables are high in carbohydrate. Not to mention, I really do love bread, and I really do love pasta. We covered this in a previous video, and you guys can check that out down below as well. But for as many carbs as we eat, my glucose is 81. And anything that's under 100, that means you're healthy. You're not pre-diabetic, you're not diabetic. You want to keep that number under 100. And here I am at 81, all the while eating high carb vegetables, high carb fruit, high carb grains, rice, lentils, oats.
All super high in carbs.
And those are staples in our diet. We have oatmeal every single morning.
Yeah, and that also ties into your BMI, which was pretty healthy.
Yes, my BMI is under 25. You know what's funny is that the only group that has statistically a healthy BMI are vegans.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, that's a little coincidental, wouldn't you say?
But Brian, what about your protein?
You got to be super worried about protein when you're on a vegan diet.
Super worried.
For reasons that we don't know. Because there's plenty of protein in plants, but we're told you need to worry about your protein. And the funny thing is, all the meat eaters who eat a lot of meat and then they go to the gym and they want to bulk up, they still need protein shakes on top of all that meat and cheese.
The reference range for protein, according to Brian's health chart, is 6.1 to 8.2. Brian, what was your protein level?
7.7.
Et voila.
Oh, it's right there on the high side.
It's almost like it's not really an issue.
No, that's so strange.
And we don't even supplement.
No, we don't take protein powder.
Now let's talk about calcium.
Oh, you need to drink cow's milk for calcium. That's what I heard on the milk commercial. Milk gives you strong bones. That's what I heard.
So the reference range here is 8.6 to 10.4. Brian, your calcium.
9.9.
Et voila!
Oh man, I'm up there towards the top again.
It's almost like you don't need cow's milk or any milk that is from an animal to maintain your calcium levels.
That's always a funny thing because cows have this milk and it's so calcium rich, yet the cow doesn't drink milk. So how on earth is this cow chock full of all this calcium?
It's like magic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
wait.
Or science.
Or science.
The kale that's in here has calcium in it.
So does the bell pepper. So does the celery.
I believe we even found out in our super oatmeal video, which you can check out down below, that even peanut butter has calcium in it. There's calcium in plants. That's how plant-eating animals, like us, get their calcium.
Now for vitamin D.
You definitely need whole milk for vitamin D. That's what I heard.
Where'd you hear that?
From the milk-selling people. It's weird how the people who sell milk have all this information about how healthy milk is for you. So the reference range for vitamin D is 20 to 50, and while I am within range, I'm a little low at 27. And so my doctor has recommended that I start taking a vitamin D supplement, which is the same thing that Dr. Neal Barnard recommends.
Now, vitamin D normally comes from the sun, and that's the only source you need. Except that people had the bad judgment of leaving Africa and moving to Berlin. And unfortunately, the sun here is less reliable. And so if you're indoors a lot, you'll want to take a vitamin D supplement.
Even though our bodies make vitamin D, we don't all live in Africa near the equator anymore. And we're also not outside most of the day, not wearing very many clothes.
Especially in the winter time.
Yeah.
I mean, like for us, we spend every Sunday during the summer playing volleyball for 5 hours at the beach, so we get plenty of sun exposure. Granted, in order to get the full benefits of the sun and vitamin D absorption, you must not wear sunscreen. Now we know that's not necessarily a great idea, so there's gotta be a little balance there. The amount of sunlight that you need varies actually depending on your skin tone. People with darker skin actually have lower rates of absorption than people with lighter skin because the more pigmentation you have in your skin, the more that acts as a sun barrier.
Human beings now live all over the globe in all sorts of climates with all sorts of sunlight amounts. And it is recommended that you just go ahead and take a vitamin D supplement. You can also eat it in fortified foods.
And mushrooms.
And speaking of fortified foods, do you know what cow's milk is fortified with? Vitamin D.
In fact, you know how much natural vitamin D there is in raw cow's milk? In 1 quart of raw cow's milk, that's about 32 ounces. I would need to be drinking all of this every day just for 40 international units. The amount of vitamin D we need actually varies depending on your age. So for Brian specifically,
yeah, my doctor recommends that I take 1,000 IU a day. 800 to 1,000 seems to be a pretty general range. Yeah, we could sit here and say that, well, it's winter time and we wear long sleeves and we haven't been outside as much. We don't play volleyball when it's cold.
That might well be true.
That might well be true, but the fact of the matter is we haven't been supplementing.
Yeah, we should be supplementing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, everyone should be supplementing. Neal Barnard does not recommend vitamin D supplementation just for vegans. He recommends it for everybody for the very reason that you can't really depend on the sunlight. And why drink something that's going to give you all these other problems just because it's been supplemented with vitamin D? There are so many other fortified foods that you could eat.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it's fortified.
Vitamin B12.
Oh, that's the vitamin that vegans can't get There's no way vegans can get it.
Let's see what the reference range is. 254 to 1060.
Yeah, wide range.
Pretty wide. Brian, what is your B12?
Wow.
Et voila!
Oh man. How am I doing this? I must be some sort of a superhero.
Vegan magic.
Or science. Yeah, we've been taking B12 supplements for a while now because when you go vegan, it's true, you don't eat food with B12 in it unless the food has been fortified. So again, just like with vitamin D, you can drink soy milk that's been fortified with B12. You can have nutritional yeast, which has B12. You can eat a lot of things that have been fortified with B12. But you know what the number one food that's fortified with vitamin B12 is? Meat.
90% of the world's production of B12 is supplemented to livestock.
Yeah, we've talked about this topic many times in the past. We specifically have a video dedicated to B12. But B12, it's not made by animals. It's not made by plants either. It's made by bacteria.
That live in the soil.
And because we live very sanitary lives, we wash our veggies, we shower every day, we use soap, we don't eat dirt, we don't drink pond water.
Or use night soil to fertilize our produce.
No, we live different lives now than we used to. So the easiest thing to do is to just take the vitamin B12 supplement yourself. Why give it to a pig and then eat the pig? It's really weird that people go, oh, natural. It's not natural. Nothing people do in their everyday lives
Is natural.
is natural. They're on the internet, they're wearing clothes, they're driving automobiles, they're flying on airplanes, they're using iPhones.
Yeah,
None of that's natural.
It's just an excuse. So I think that about covers all the vitamins and minerals that we get hounded on.
Yeah, we can only get from animal products. The fact of the matter is that vegans, statistically, are living longer, healthier lives.
And if vegans were dying of all these deficiencies, that would probably make headline news, don't you think?
People would love to see vegans like dropping dead from B12 deficiency and protein deficiency and calcium deficiency, because then they could just continue eating bacon guilt-free. But what really stings is the fact that vegans are actually healthier.
I just picture a toddler. It's very toddler-esque. It's like, just try it. It's okay. You'll be okay. There is so much out there.
I think people get scared away too because either they hear this or they think this, like, oh, if you're gonna eat vegan, I got to do a bunch of math now. I got to watch my diet. I got to look closely at what I eat. Is that a bad thing? Because I think when people go to the drive-thru at McDonald's, they're totally not looking at what they're eating.
That's what my mom was saying today. She was literally like, fast food, people don't even care what they're putting into their bodies.
But when discussing nutrition with a vegan, all of a sudden they care. You gotta be really careful with that vegan diet. It's, whew, it might lower your cholesterol and save your life. You can be healthy on a vegan diet, guys.
You absolutely can. Let us know if you have any questions or concerns, and hopefully we can help you out. We super appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up button on our videos. It really is encouraging and motivating, and it keeps us working hard to get you information that you can use in your daily lives.
Follow us on whatever social media you'd like to follow us on, and if you haven't, check out our Etsy store. We have some t-shirts up there.
And of course,
subscribe! As always, thank you so much to our patrons on Patreon, and if you like what we do and you would like to support the channel, you can become a Patreon patron too. The link is in the description.
Bye!
Bye.
Happy?
Yes. I'm with you, aren't I?
Good answer.